Hello, LEGO lovers and Star Wars lovers. This is a LEGO set review of the Razor Crest, or the Bounty Hunter Transport, as it's known in some circles. Set number 75292, and comes in at $130-ish, with about 1,023 pieces. And of course, our highlight is on the center of the video. So we're going to look at our figures first, and let's look at him first. Yes, they made him. I'm so happy they made him, or her, the child, Baby Yoda, whatever you want to call this adorable little guy. And they made him. They used the mini or baby type mold to build him, and I am happy with that. He's got a crazy head, those eyes, which are perfect. No, it's really good. I mean, he's not actually cuddly. He wears a lot of robes. That's about the only thing that's kind of missing, is that he would have a very bulky robe around him. You very rarely see his hands and everything. He just has a bulky robe. But this is great. You can see that he's got some texture on his head, which I think is accurate. They really did put the effort on his head there. And they even have some printing on his torso or body, whatever. Just really nice. It would have been nice if he could have holded something, or they gave him something. Just a really nice little baby figure, effectively. And then we have the Mandalorian, and I believe this is the same one from the AT-ST Raider, but still great printing on his torso and legs. No arm printing or anything, and he does have back printing and sweet gray little cape and the Mandalorian helmet, which is actually pretty cool, and that awesome face print, which I think is one of the better ones that I've seen for Mandalorians. So really happy to see that. But let's take a look at our other characters. And here we have IG-11, and he pretty much looks like any standard IG unit, which is very fitting. He does come with this one blaster, and I think you can give him another one if you want. Nothing too special. That is a printed part. I just realized his legs are backwards. I thought something looked a little off with him. But yeah, it's still definitely fitting him. I like the dark gray over like a brown or a light brown or a super chrome. It just works really nicely. And here we have Grief Karga, the bad guy turned good guy. If you haven't watched the show, you should be watching it. It's really good, unless you don't like violence. Pretty good torso print. He's got two pistols, which is very accurate. Different colored arms, which is nice. And he does have, I believe, a different face print here. Yep, kind of more of a stern early on type look. And then kind of a smile, I guess. But then we have our bad guy who hit Baby Yoda. So, yeah, I mean, he's a bad guy. He hit Baby Yoda. Yoda bit him in the finger, so I did think he deserved that. But for the figure, we have really nice printing on legs and torso. I actually really love that helmet. There's even printing right in the middle area there, which I think is actually pretty incredible. Comes with a pistol. We even have, I mean, the helmet's really detailed. Little printing up top on the sides, down here. They even have some printing in the back and some other details there. It's actually one of the more detailed Stormtrooper type helmets. And here you can see we have a very standard smiling Stormtrooper face. No alternate face. Yep, just his smile. That's all the figures. That's not the name of the set. It is not the Mandalorian or the child or Baby Yoda. It is the Razor Crest, and this is the Razor Crest. Now, basically, when this ship was revealed in the show, I noticed tons of custom people doing mocks for LEGO of this ship. And that's all fine. But the thing is once LEGO gets in and does it, they tend to have better custom parts and a more overall friendly build, I would say. One of the biggest things is the cockpit, right? So as you can see, this is actually a big printed piece, and they have an interesting way it pops out. You just grab this and it just kind of pops out. It's a very nice printed piece. You know, you could use it like this for a cockpit, you know, however you want. It's just really nice that they did that. It might not be 100% accurate, but I think it's really nice. And as you can see, we have 2 seats in there. And I added some of the extra parts in here. And what that allows you to do is put Baby Yoda in there. And he can actually kind of be, you know, where he's kind of sitting in the show and kind of over, but behind the Mandalorian, who would be sitting in that front. Very simple console there. I kind of almost wish they put some printing on here just to add to the console. So you can really only fit 2 figures in there, unfortunately, and, you know, Baby Yoda to the side, or have him sitting in a chair a little awkwardly. But they also have this part, which flips up like this, and there's actually storage in there. And you can see I have 2 weapons in there. Yeah, whatever. They use that space, I guess. And then these actually just pop in between this hinge there with the clips. And it works really nice, actually. So incredible engineering from the Lego designers, I have to say. But let's stay with the front and kind of take a look at that. So here we have the front of the ship, and it's more rounded, I think, in the show, but this does kind of really nicely put the front. I do believe this should have been kind of out a little bit more, but it looks good. It captures the design. It definitely looks like it. I love these kind of, they're almost simple but nice, the weapon builds. One of my complaints though is this yellow, but maybe you could say it's firing and a bright yellow pops out. Yeah, but I'm not a big fan of that. Note that all this stuff is for the most part stickers. So you have the brown worn kind of look. This is a print though, and you basically have stickers parallel on both sides. And here we have the big engines, which I think are actually really cool. I really like the build that they do for that front there. And it's just kind of an interesting build here to get it to work. This is a gigantic sticker, unfortunately, and we even kind of have the back. We have that kind of cauldron or barrel type piece, which is kind of an interesting use for it. But you can see how it's kind of curved into the wing. It's pretty nicely in there, which is nice. And of course, the other one is just kind of a parallel on the other side. It does have stud shooters. I don't overly care about it, but I do like how they've been hiding them. So you would press these down. It's not activated because I don't have any in there, and it would actually fire out right here, which you barely can notice. I really like how they've been doing that. It makes it so that the stud shooters aren't just like this big bulky thing randomly planted on the vehicle. They're building it into the vehicle, and they're building the firing mechanism into the vehicle. You barely notice it. I think it's awesome. On the back, we have some venting, and probably the kind of weakest part is just this kind of back part. But I mean, it is a spaceship. Doesn't necessarily have tons of detail. You're going to have big chunks of armor plating, and you can see how we have no license plate back here because he is a bounty hunter. This is a sore spot. Let's see if I can't get a bit better view of it. It's just, there's nothing there. Like, it almost feels like it's missing a plate that could go there. And I mean, if you wanted to, you could kind of just hinge your plate onto this and then have it kind of come up here sloped. But I just kind of feel it's a little awkward there. I don't think that's how the ship is. There should be like an armor plate going right there, so that's a little unfortunate. There is an additional feature up top here, actually. This is supposed to be an escape pod. And this, whoops, supposed to pop off really easy. Let me quick fix that. Ridiculously simple escape pod where you can lay down the Mandalorian effectively. On the plus side, he can kind of go in there with his cape. You just kind of scrunch it up a little bit, and that's it. What's one of my problems with this? Well, I guess Baby Yoda goes down with the ship because, as far as I can tell, you can't fit him in there with the Mandalorian. I guess you can close it up like this and have him sit on his face. Yeah, so that's a little disappointing, but then again, it's a feature that's there that they didn't have to put there. They could have just bricked out this and had nothing there at all, period. But it's kind of a little escape vehicle, I guess. Kind of has some representation of thrusters. You can see his face there. It's very reminiscent of how escape pods would look in Star Wars, I think. So that's kind of cool. I don't like the hole is about the only thing I don't like, because when you have the ship built up, it just kind of looks a little weird when you look at it from the top. But yeah, it's not the worst, I guess. But the underside is where all the action is. Although it really doesn't look like it. We'll look at the bottom before we really get inside. And the bottom is really simple, although we have these nice larger kind of ski pads for landing. Really simple, nice, not necessarily a bunch of people going to be looking at the bottom, but nice that they kind of actually have extended out landing feet. The thing with this is there's lots of opening, actually. So as you can see here, we have a side door, which is very reminiscent of the show. You can't really see anything in there. The one on the other side opens, which I don't know if that is actually part of the show. So you can imagine that's like the door. You also have this door area that opens out, so you can have like a walk down pad, and you can see there's actually quite a bit of room. But as far as that, you would think you really can't get in there. However, this flips down in the front here, and you can see all the laser bolts that are in there. You could store whatever that you could fit in there for all intents and purposes. But then what's on the other side? Well, it's the Mandalorian's bedroom. Yeah, some nice stickers back there. A ridiculously plain, probably not comfortable bed. But yeah, you have that little area for him to sleep, so he chooses. Baby Yoda could probably hang out somewhere in there too. If you really want to play weird, you could leave these down and imagine them as guns there too. But yeah, no. So, we really want to get into this ship. This is what we're going to do. This whole panel slides down. Slide down this door too, and you can get inside. Unfortunately, there's really nothing inside. We're going to slide, both sides can come down. So amazingly enough, you do have an incredible amount of access to the inside of this ship. In fact, almost an awkward amount of access that you see the supports there. But I'll say it is still a durable ship. Even with just the like couple supports there. Everything fits together good, doesn't fall apart. There is something in here, though. You can't notice it from this angle. But if you slide these two bricks out, which I'm going to do, you have two people frozen in carbonite. So that's really a nice, cool detail. However, the fact that they just kind of slide in here... Oops. It's breaking. It's fragile in some areas, but they just slide in here. I don't really like it. You can't really see it very well. I wish they would have been at least at some sort of angle if they could have. But this is pretty much, as it hits my camera, the most plain part. There's really nothing going on there. You obviously can, put figures if you want to have them standing in there very easily, but they don't have anything to do. There's really no play features down there. Effectively, it is a display set for that. And then the nice part is it's really easy to just flip it all back up, and it's all closed back up, and you can land it back down, and you can carry off your bounty hunted frozen people. So what's my overall view on this set? Well, for one, it's probably a little biased because I super love The Mandalorian. I freaked out when Baby Yoda was revealed, like literally freaked out. I was like, I couldn't believe it. It was incredible. So to get for a show that you really like, anyone that likes it, to get the character from it, I think is great, especially when it's kind of a different sized, weirder type character. that is really awesome. They didn't do it right off the bat, unfortunately, but I think they didn't want to like leak anything. But my overall opinion on the set is great. It's a lot of gray. Some people may not like that, but it is film accurate in that aspect. It's pretty much all gray. There's lots of neat gray parts in here, admittedly. Some slopes and angles and just some interesting parts. I love the build. The build was actually fairly enjoyable. Just so many moving parts. My only real complaint is probably the interior on the bottom here. I just feel like they could have just... There should be more. You know, if you watch the show, he had like a room where he had a gun rack. Or not a room. They had a vac tube, which is effectively a bathroom. There's just a lot they could have tried to put in there a little bit, as I am being too aggressively playing with it. So overall, it's still awesome. It looks great. It's a great display model because it is all closed up, bar this one part up here, but you're not going to really see that. It definitely looks the part. It's large. As a play set, if you're going to get this for a kid, definitely can play with it. Like I said, a lot of stuff that opens up. There's not necessarily the most detail inside for it opening up. And the cockpit's a little restricted, but this is not a UCS type set, so we have to understand that. It might be a little expensive for the price, or a little for the pieces, but you do get a lot of larger type gray pieces. The figures do have some great prints. There's Baby Yoda in there. There'll be a cheaper way to get him in the future in the actual Baby Yoda buildable thing. But overall, I love this set. I'm a big Star Wars fan. Even though I don't necessarily do a lot of Star Wars reviews, I know there's a lot of people that do them. It's just an awesome set. I like how it looks. It's very iconic now that that's a great show. And I'm happy to have gotten this set. Yeah, it's a little expensive on the $130 side. Maybe at $100 it would be a really good deal. So it's not the worst if you think about it. But that's pretty much it for this video. I want to thank you for watching. If you've gotten to that and you're incredible, please subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. And I encourage you to do so. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Comment your thoughts too. Just overall, thank you for watching, and I hope you'll watch one of my other videos. Thanks again.